you get into the real world and you're like,
Yeah.
there's like 500 forms. Which one do I use?
Mm-hmm.
So she taught me all of that. And I got to work with some really great agents that have been in the business for a really, really long time.
Anytime you guys try to lay it on the table and answer the pros and the cons, and people will feel 10 times better about the decision they're making when they know that they've made it themselves because they've understood.
Right? Social media stuff, I'm committing to a year it's been more than a year now, right? And Chris is amazing. I love him.
You don't have to say that on camera. It's fine.
that.
RuthAnn Osborne is an award-winning RE/MAX realtor serving Windsor-Essex. Known for her care, honesty, and commitment to her clients, RuthAnn has built a strong reputation by helping buyers and sellers navigate one of the biggest decisions of their lives with confidence. She's earned platinum level recognition and has been named among the top individual realtors at her brokerage. But what truly drives her is helping people, building relationships, and serving her community. Welcome back to another episode of Cracking the Success Vault here with Spectre Group. Today our guest is RuthAnn Osborne. You are a RE/MAX preferred realtor here in Windsor-Essex County. We're going to talk a lot about a lot of different things today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we were just joking around off camera about a lot of different things. I'm excited to see sort of your point of view on not just the marketplace, but how you got to where you are today. You've been having a lot of success recently. When I know that right now the market's not the best, right? So, and as I was telling you before, my wife and I love watching the real estate shows on Netflix and stuff like that. So obviously this isn't Selling Sunset as we were joking about, but there's, I think the concepts kind of overlap at the same time. So, but let's start at the beginning. So where did RuthAnn grow up? How did she grow up? What kind of family did you come from? Let's start there.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited. And I was thinking about this question, and I don't want to take too long with that, but I got really lucky. Both my parents are phenomenal people, and I am so happy with the childhood that they gave me. And I think that business, I do get a lot of people that ask me, and you're doing really well in real estate. What makes you different from other people? And I always say, first and foremost, I'm a business owner, right? I'm not a salesperson. I am a business owner. So, and I love business. I've always loved business, all the aspects of business. And I really got that from both of my parents, and from a very, very young age. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she also ran a daycare out of her house, right? So when I was growing up, there was always different kids. It was her business. That's what she did. That's how they put food on the table, was with her job, right? So I got to see that aspect. And then at a very young age, I also got to start babysitting because my mom needed help and she had kids and they needed a babysitter on the weekend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I got to see that aspect of it. And then my dad is a pastor, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we don't like to think of a church as a business, but at the same time, there are business aspects of running a church.
100%.
And I mean, I would be very, very little and we would be stacking chairs, and my dad would put them on the dolly and there'd be too many. And he's like, no, you've got this. And I'd, be 7 hauling chairs and setting them up, because you really have to do everything when you own a business, right? Or when you're running a business. So I got to grow up with a mom and a dad who are both running businesses. And for me, that was just kind of common knowledge, I guess. So when I started getting out into the working world, I very quickly was put into management positions. I used to get a lot of, we can't hire you because we feel like you're going to take over here. And it was so as a teenager and stuff, I'm like, but I'm a teenager.
Yeah. I just want to make some money.
And they're like, no,
Interesting.
So I had a lot of that. But again, I had the business aspect growing up from both my mom and my dad. Right. We also moved a lot with my dad's job. So things people don't know about a pastor is you start with kids ministry, and then you go into young adults, right? And then you're an associate pastor, and then an assistant pastor, and then you get your own church. So all those you're moving to different places. And my parents didn't make a lot of money, right? Being a pastor isn't we're Pentecostals, so it's not like you're Catholic and stuff is paid for, right?
Sure.
And so my parents would buy a house that was a lot cheaper, what they could afford. And it was like, we would just get it all fixed up and stuff like that. And then we'd be moving again. Right. And so moving is something that I've always done too. I love moving. I'm used to moving. I actually get kind of a little bit of an itch where I'm like, I could be moving.
Been in one spot too long.
I've been in one spot too long. Yeah. So I have to rearrange the furniture sometimes.
Make it feel different.
Make it feel a little bit different. Yeah. And like my answer to what color should we paint this room is always white. And my husband's like, I don't get it. Right. And then he was over at Christmas and he's looking through all these pictures and he goes, how come it's white in every single background? And my mom said, well, we pretty much got homes, fixed them up as much as we could, to the point where we had painted and primed and then we were moving again. Right. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it is. I'm just like, I like white. It's what I grew up with. I don't know. Right. So yeah, I grew up in business, as I would like to say, and with really great parents also teaching me, that people are first, right? Always put God and always put people first. And that's the most important over money, over anything else, right? Is to love people. So I've always kept that with me, right? And that is the most important part of running my business is just, loving people, right? And kind of going where God's directing me to go. Yeah. So from there, I did a lot of sales stuff, right? Okay.
Before real estate.
Before real estate,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've done everything from door knocking. Yep. Oh, I've done so much door knocking. Yeah, I sold pest control stuff door to door in London for, I think, an entire summer. And I must have been, it was my year I was going into prom because I remember I got a really bad sunburn and I was like, I'm done. I have to wear a proper dress. To be young, and care about those kinds of things. Sure. And then I got into retail. I worked for a company too, just doing cold calling as well. I can't even remember what it was for, but I did that for quite a while. And so I'm used to the phones. I'm used to door knocking, kind of doing all those things. And I got those skills at a young age, of getting the door shut on you and, get out of here.
Facing the rejection and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So what made you choose real estate?
So I actually didn't really want to go into real estate, but what I was very, very interested in was investing, right? And I always think that the best place to be in any business, if you want to be at the top, is to be the janitor, right? And I was like, I don't know anything about investing, but I do want to get into real estate investing. So I guess the best thing to do with this would be to go to school and start taking these courses for real estate, because I would at least know like what the basics are. Right. And then I finished that off and I was like, no, I do want to go into real estate and start to make this as a career. I did a short stunt in healthcare, which was, I was married before actually, and we ran a business and then we got divorced. And so I went into healthcare and I was in healthcare for about 5 years. And I had this really sweet older lady who I just loved. Her and her husband ran all of the Holiday Inns, I think in Windsor and in, not Sarnia, but they had a whole bunch of them, right? And she kept saying to me, why are you here? And I said, I'm here to help you. And she's like, no, why are you here? She's like, you're too smart. She's like, you need to do something else. And I said, oh, well, that's really nice. I said, well, I am taking school for real estate. And she said, that's what you should be doing. And then she used to check up on me all the time and go, so when are you going to leave here? You shouldn't be here.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like they were business owners. She used to talk about business with me all the time and stuff like that. And she was just a really, really great woman. I was so like, she passed away. I went to her funeral, but she was somebody who like really touched me, that as somebody who had been in business, like she got married at like 16 or 18 or something like that. And they started this business and they'd done it their whole life, was able to be like, this isn't where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Get into business. Right. So
it's interesting though that you, over the course of like growing up through teenage years and now even into your adult years, anytime you've gone to get a job somewhere else with someone else being your boss, they've all been like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
That's got to be an interesting like push to be like, well, then what am I going to do by myself? Like, what am I going to do to run a business? What am I going to go do to be an owner?
Yeah, it is. And it's really frustrating because there's been like really frustrating. When I was younger, it was really frustrating. But the more I've grown in this business and in real estate, I have looked down some avenues. And there's been some avenues where people have sat with me and said, you know, I think like most recently, I had one that said, you know, you're a top producer. And if we bring you in here, like we're just going to have to bring you down like a little bit to not being at that top producing level to be able to rebuild you back up. Right. And I thought to myself, that's the same thing that everybody keeps saying to me throughout my whole life. You know what I mean? And so it's a little frustrating because there's times when I think this is what I need to be able to grow. But then the people that I'm talking to are saying, no, you're already there, or this is going to be boring for you, or you're not going to work with us. You're going to take over us. Right. And I just think I still come out of those things a little frustrated. Yeah. But I also think that's obviously not the road that I need to go down. And that's not the door that's opening to me. Right. So then I just take a step back and I keep doing what I'm doing. And as other doors open to me, those are the ones that I walk through. Right. I had a mentor of mine that said to me one time, he said, work with the people who are willing to work with you.
For sure.
And I found that is really good advice. I was trying to start a community group, youth thing. And it ended up being massive at the end. And it was so cool. But when I was starting it out, some of the bigger guys that I was going after that I wanted to work with were just like, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. Right. And that was when my mentor had said, just work with the people who are going to work with you. And I did. And as we started building and as we started growing with the people that I thought, you know, like, okay, they're going to work with me. Like, let's just find their best qualities and, you know, what they're strong with and build from there. It did grow into something massive to the point that the big ones that I were going after were coming to me and saying, hey, we want to work with you. And at that point, I was able to be like, well, if you want to work with us, we need this, this, and this. And if you're not on board with it, then I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah, I mean, and whether it's community work, whether it's church, a business, clients, whatever it is, like I'll call it like one problem client, one problem business owner, one collaborator. If they're not willing to work with you and do things and understand the way that you do things, you're going to spend more time dealing with headaches of why aren't you doing things the way that we want them done, instead of just doing things the way that you feel they should be done in the first place. Right? Like having that problem client or that problem headache or whatever. And obviously in the beginning of running a business or starting a collaborative community group or whatever it is, like sometimes you just have to work with anybody willing to work with you. Yeah. But at a certain point in time when like, you know, bills are paid and things are starting to grow, like you're causing yourself more headache. Yes. Working with people that want things done their way instead of the way you think they should be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that to that comment, I think that there's people that we really want to work with. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of good, like I've met people and I'm like, man, I want to work with that person, you know, and they have a lot of things that I can learn from them. Right. And they have a lot of things that they can learn from me, and working together in my mind would elevate both of us and really be able to help our clients. Right. But you have to adapt in business. You know, and if someone, it's not necessarily you need to do it my way and my idea, but if you're not going to take a chance and grow and try something new, or you're going to be like, we've always done it this way, this is the way that works. And we're not going to try something else, then that's, again, like you said, you're not getting anywhere with that. Right? You're not growing. And in a lot of ways that can really stifle you to where your business stops and starts declining. right? I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in life and in real estate is that for every one client, and I don't usually have to let a client go. Like I've had two that I've had in real estate where I've had to say, I'm sorry, but I don't think that this relationship's going to work. I don't think I'm the best option for you, but there are so many others out there that I think you would work better with, right? And it's really hard to do that. But anytime I've done that, I have gained more clients, and they've been really great clients.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, because I mean, I'm kind of working with one of my advisors at the office right now who had a client. We got a notice that they're transferring money out to another institution, and he's like, I can't believe I'm losing a client. And I'm like, hey, listen, like there's lots of reasons for why that could be. You don't know. Maybe it's their best friend who's now in the business, or their mom or dad or brother, sister, or somebody, right? But I'm like, you have to look at it from an opportunity of like, if you're losing a client, then it's making space for something new.
Yes.
Right. Like and I related it. Everybody was laughing a couple weeks ago. So I got in a car accident. Luckily, everybody's okay.
That's good.
But for like months, I've been like, man, I just want a new car. Like this car's been paid off for a long time. And like, I really kind of want a new car. And I've always joked at the office that like, if you want something new, you have to get rid of the thing that you have.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's the best way to get rid of your car? Or I'll write it off. So yeah, they wrote off my car and I got a check, but I went and bought a new car.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but it's like you're thinking it into existence, right? So you can't look at it as this massive negative thing, losing a client, letting a client go, getting in a car accident. Like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. The question is, can you actually see it? Right. Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I'm literally dealing with that at the office. Like right now, he's just like, I don't know what it is that I did. And I'm like, it doesn't mean you did anything.
That's right.
That doesn't, like, you're putting that on your own self.
That's
that
right.
You did something wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything wrong. It just, that person is moving on to the next chapter, and that's making more space for you and new clients. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Like I always tell clients, I have like, if you're signing a contract with me at any time that you feel that this is no longer working, I will give you a mutual release.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't work with people that don't want to work with me.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. I haven't had to do that. I've had to let people go, which is hard, but I haven't had to. Actually, that's not true. I did have this young couple that came to me, and they were wonderful. And I showed them a couple of houses, and then they were of a different nationality. And they called me up and they said, we are so sorry and we feel so bad. But, you know, in our community, there's a cousin of ours and he just got his real estate license. And I said, I will give you a mutual release. I am happy for you. Like, I totally understand that, you know, and like, this is what you're looking for. If you want me to call him and kind of give him the information of the stuff that we've already gone through, I can absolutely do that. Yeah. Right? Because at the end of the day, this is their decision. Right? And this is what's best for them. And like, I was happy for them. Right? And that's the directions that they went on. There is more than enough business out there for everybody, as long as you're willing to look for it. And again, I truly believe that when you lose a client, or you have to let a client go, or it doesn't work out the way that you want to in business, it's because there is something better that is already there. Right? You have to be like I tell people, you have to be in the right place for God to bless you. So quit kicking in this door repeatedly and being upset that this door isn't working for you. Just stop. Stop and back out of it. Because once you back out of it and you start doing kind of the direction that you're supposed to walk into, that's when you can step into those blessings, and everything just falls into place, and things are easier, and stuff starts coming to you that you had no idea. It's bigger than what you thought it could be. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
I love that point. So let's talk a little bit about let's say your real estate career. So how long have you been doing it for?
So I am just starting my 6th year.
6th year. And where did you start?
So I started in real estate at Deerbrook.
Okay.
And they are a wonderful brokerage. Kelly and Jen there are just fantastic, and they really took me under their wing, and it was really great, as well as some other people, realtors and stuff that were there. And I learned how to write offers properly and really well. Nice. They had a trainer there named Laura. I'm going to butcher her last name. York, I want to say. Yorkie.
Okay.
Anyways, very nice girl, still a realtor. And she was training me and she walked me through like everything, because you go to school for real estate, but they're mainly like, here's all the different ways you can get sued.
Yeah.
and here's paperwork and this is how you fill it out. But you get into the real world and you're like,
Yeah.
there's like 500 forms. Which one do I use?
Mm-hmm.
So she taught me all of that. And I got to work with some really great agents that have been in the business for a really, really long time.
Okay.
And it was really, really awesome. It was really awesome. And people kept saying, I'd be like, what do I do? And they'd be like, just do what you think, because you're really smart and you're doing good. And I was like, I don't know what to do though.
Right.
Right.
I still need some guidance.
I still need some guidance.
Right.
I still need some guidance. And I truly believe that the real estate world and what they are missing in the education of real estate is that you go to school, you get your classes, okay? But then they just throw you into real estate. And I think that people coming out of the real estate college need to have like a year of mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They need to be paired up with another realtor. And I think it should be something that's mandatory, because these poor young people or people who are starting their second career, right? Like they're giving up paid jobs and security to do a job that's completely commission based,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
with no knowledge on how to actually do the business.
No knowledge. And I'd done business for years and years, and I'd done sales for years and years. And I was like, I don't understand why I'm not doing better.
Yeah.
Right. But there's systems and procedures. It's just a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that if there was a mentorship program for kids, or I should say kids, I'm saying in school, so kids, right? But a lot of them are all adults. But if there was a mentorship program that put them with a realtor that knew what they were doing, that would be hugely beneficial and would completely change our real estate world.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I really felt like I needed to be somewhere that I could get more guidance, and they were so good at Deerbrook, right? But I just I literally needed people to be like, no, you're going to do this, this, and this, and this in this way, this way, this way, this way.
And here's why.
And here's why, right? Now go do it, was what I needed. So I joined a team, which was really, really awesome. And on the team, I got a lot more structure, and I got a really, really good mentor who I was able to call up at any time and be like, I don't know what to do. Right. And she was fantastic. Her name's Jennifer Bartnick. Again, she's still in real estate.
Yeah.
Right. And she was, okay, RuthAnn, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to say it. Right. Because it has a lot to do with the way that you're presenting something.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that you say that, because like our industry, in order to get through your licensing program, like you have to get like 60% on an exam. Like that's not hard. But our industry you have to get sponsored by a company and have someone oversee for 2 years.
That's good.
But there's no like qualification as to who that person is. It could just be like a person who's got 2 years experience, and that person no longer needs supervision, and they can go out and hire you, and you're brand new, and you're like, well, two people who don't like, there's no qualification for that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I was taught such a structure like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you make a phone call to a warm market person. Here's how you make it to a cold market person. Here's how you answer this question. Here's how you answer that question.
Yep.
When someone says this is what you say. Like word for word for word. And I'm very robotic, and people like kind of like I guess tease me at the office about it, because you can literally give me like the same objection for 15 people and I'll say the exact same words for 15 people. And they're like,
That's
you're
right.
just so, but that's the way I was taught.
And it works.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works not just because I get the deal done, but I say it with confidence and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I use these exact words. And every time I'm like, you need to know the structure of what you're saying.
That's right.
And then you can like kind of make it your own here or there. But you can't like learn the structure of it, think you're overconfident, and then just change the whole thing.
No.
Right? Because there's a reason why it's said the way that it's said, or the reason why you answer it the way that you answer it.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, if you can say something in 10 words instead of 50 words, use 10.
Yes.
Right. And that's the way that I was taught, is like more less is more, right? Unless you need more words, then do it. But it's just crazy that you're saying the exact same thing as the way that I was taught. As I was like, this is just the way it is.
Yes.
You say it this way, and every time you say it that way, it just works.
Yeah, it just works. And like I have a mentee now that I've taken on since last year, and he is an absolutely phenomenal guy, right? And I always say to him, like, our listing, we're going to go into a listing, we're doing the presentation exactly the same every single time. We're saying the same thing at the same time, that we're doing it, giving the same answer for everything. Like, and when somebody calls and they go, I want to know about, 220 Road 8, right? The first thing out of your mouth is always the same. Are you looking for yourself or an investment? Right? I don't care if it's a $3 million house. Are you looking for yourself or an investment? Right. You know what? It's probably for themselves if it's a $3 million house, but you don't know what's going on with somebody's finances. They could be looking for it for a summer home. Yeah. You know what I mean? They could be from somewhere else. Like, you don't know. Yep. So that is always the first question, right? And I said to him, I don't ever want to hear you say anything else other than that first.
Right.
Right? Oh, it's priced at this. They're going to be like, great, thanks, bye, click.
Right.
There has to be processes and there has to be procedures and there has to be a way and a system that you do things. And like, again, that's where like I am a business owner. I am not a salesperson. And a salesperson is focusing on just getting that sale and getting that deal done and getting that money.
Right.
Right. But if you're going through the right process and you have a business plan, then your clients are not going to feel like you're selling them because you're not. You're educating them.
Right.
Right. And that's the biggest part. So when you call up somebody and they're asking you these questions about a home or about finances, and you have the same questions or the same statements that you're saying to them, right? You're doing that to help get the right answers out of them so that you can help them the best way possible.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a sales tactic. It's so that you know how to help them.
Correct.
Right? And how you can guide them.
Yeah. I love everything you're saying because it's literally like I've had people and I've had other advisors at the office where someone, let's say, cold calls the office and they're like, do you guys sell life insurance or do you guys do home and auto insurance? And it's like, yeah, we do. Okay, well, I want a quote. And it's like, it's not quite the way it works.
No.
Like, I need some information. Well, why do you need all this information? Because I'm not just trying to sell you a product. I'm trying to actually help you and guide you in the right direction. So like, well, I just want $500,000 of term 10 insurance. And I'm like, okay, for what? Well, to cover my mortgage. Okay, well, like, do you have 10 years left on your mortgage? Well, no, I've got 25. Then what is 10 years going to do good for you? Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
I realize that the client may be just like, let's get this sale on the road. But like, I feel like I've done a disservice if I'm just like, yeah, I'll sell you the cheapest thing possible for 10 years. And then 10 years from now, we'll go through this whole thing again.
Yeah.
You're older. It's more expensive. Maybe a health thing came up. Like if you just did it right the first time, and if you just gave me 20 minutes to ask you a series of questions, I'd get you in the right product at the right price for the right period of time. Yeah. Right. But so many people are like, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's get the sale done. Term 10. Cool. Like 10 minutes later. And it's like, well, I made a couple $100. Great. But did you actually help the person? Did you actually put them in the right product that's best suited for them?
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And I find too that having those policies and procedures and asking the right questions at the very beginning is going to also narrow down the clients that are really in need of your services and really want to do it right and do it to the best of so it's the best for them, right? Like they're looking for your services. They are needing you and wanting to work with you, right? As opposed to people who are just going to dictate what they want you to do and feel that you need to do this for them and that's the end of it.
And you're getting paid out of it, so just go do it.
Yeah, and you're getting paid out of it, so just go do that. Okay, well, I have to sleep at night too, and I would never sleep at night knowing that I just was like, yeah, it's this much, and now I got a couple $100. Woo! Like, I mean, that makes me a trashy person. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that kind of sales. But if you get somebody and you're going through the right procedures, like if somebody calls up their doctor and they're like, hey, I think I broke my leg, or my stomach is really hurting, so just send me medication, right? The doctor's going to be like, I'm going to need you to come in, sit down with me so that we can make sure that we're doing the proper stuff to get this fixed properly,
proper
right?
medication, proper recovery time,
Yeah.
maybe proper surgery, whatever.
Yeah.
But if the person on the phone is like, no, I'm not leaving my house,
Yeah.
just give me the medication, the doctor's gonna be like, no,
No.
like I'm not just gonna give you medication, right? And I feel the same way, right? Is
Yeah.
you can't just be like, just because it's real estate for you or financial services for me, you can't just be like, well, we're not as professional as a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer or a whatever. Like we have to be just as professional as they are.
Absolutely.
Right. So we have systems and procedures that need to be followed just like you. I love the fact that you're saying all of that kind of stuff. That's just that. And so that's something that you were taught at Deerbrook to follow?
No, that was once I went to a team. Like
the
they
team.
had more of a structure
And was
stuff
that
like
team
that.
still with Deerbrook?
No, that was a Remax
Moved
team.
on Remax
I'm going to
team.
turn to a Remax
Got it.
team. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was really, really great. And my mentor was amazing, and so were the other mentors, and the broker and everything like that
Yep.
were really great and key in getting me to where I needed to be and understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel really blessed and really grateful for the time that I had there because I was able to learn a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I really need to spend time with my husband because I really love him. And when you're on like a team structure as opposed to like an individual agent, you know, I mean, you're working with a team. You're part of that. You can't just be like, oh guys, bye.
Bye guys.
I'm gonna go do this now, right? Like that's not appropriate. And I didn't feel that at that point that with what I wanted for my personal life, that I wouldn't be properly giving to the team what I had promised to.
Right.
Right. So as much as I loved that, and it was time for me to kind of step back and go, okay, this is going to be different and really scary because now I'm on my own. But also I truly believe that I just needed to kind of step back and go on my own.
Yeah.
Right. Spend some more extra time at home and things like that.
Sure.
And anytime I think that you scale your business or move your business, it's kind of like you're underwater and you're like really trying to come up for water because you're like, I'm going to do this, you know, and you don't know when you're finally going to reach the top. And then you come out and you take a breath and you're like still in the water, you know, but you can breathe and you're like, okay, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not.
This wasn't the end.
This didn't kill me.
Yeah.
You know, and I really felt like that because I had so much support.
Yeah.
Right. But when I changed over to Remax Preferred, I found that I had a lot of support there too. Right. And there's been older agents. I shouldn't say older, seasoned. They are not old. They are very young and very young at heart. But seasoned agents who have been doing this for a long time that just said, hey, you know what? Anything that you need, like I'm here for you. You can let us know. Right. And like they constantly checked up on me. How are you doing? Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I'm doing. Yeah. I'm stressed.
But that's like the beauty of being self-employed and being a business owner is like some days you don't even know what you're doing. Other days you have it all figured out. Some days you just have to like go and, you know, sit in a corner and have a cup of coffee and just like think to yourself. Like it's just, you know, and I think even just having mentors around is just super important. I mean, you know, for myself, right? I get in the car accident. My wife and I were looking at a bunch of different cars, and obviously business is going really well for us at Spectre Group, and we're expanding, and now we've got the home and auto and commercial side of things, which is fantastic.
It's very exciting.
But yeah, it's just wild. So we're like a full service one-stop shop now. We can do mortgages, we can do home and auto, commercial insurance, and then life and investments. So we can do all of it under one umbrella now,
awesome.
Which is fantastic. So my wife and I were looking at a bunch of different cars, and we were in the middle of a sales meeting, and my partner Jason was like, kind of everybody was asking me like what kind of car I was going to get and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I think we're going to do this or do that. That's what we were looking at last year too, when we were about to have our baby. And Jay chirped me in the middle of the sales meeting being like, dude, like you're making more money than you've made before. like go get something that you actually want, not just something. And I was like, I want to make the right financial decision here. I'm an advisor. I should probably be financially responsible. And I was like, but okay, I'll go investigate. And like between the price of payments and leases, with cost of insurance, it was like $50 a month more expensive to get the car that I wanted versus the one that I didn't want.
Yeah.
And it's a car that I've always been like, I'm like, this is my dream car. If I could drive around in this every day, this is what I'd have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for $50 a month, why would I not get the thing that I've always wanted?
Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, and I've noticed in myself that even in the last like week, I'm like, okay, like things are,
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay to have the thing. It's okay to have the thing
Yes.
that you want. And it's okay to go spend just a slight bit more money if you're going to go spend more money. And it's opened my brain even in the last week to just like, man, the possibilities of just what other things in life could I have if I just kept working hard.
Yeah.
Right. And not being afraid to go and investigate whether or not they're there.
Yes.
Right.
You know what? I love that you said that, because I think that anybody who is built from the bottom up, right? Like you have a different way that you've always done life.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a mentee and I love her so much. And she's such a great girl. She's in real estate, and we were working together a little bit and just like helping each other and things. And then she ended up going on a team, and it's the perfect place for her to be. And I'm so happy for her, and it's working out so well. And she calls me up and she's like, I'm so stressed out and I'm doing this and this. And I know she's a single mom, right? So she's like, we keep eating out at McDonald's and I really need to get, like, my kids need to eat properly and I have to clean my house. And I said, listen, you're a woman and we want to do it all. Okay. We want to make our kids the great food. We want to keep our house clean, but you are in business. You make money now, girl. Yeah. You need to use it and get a housekeeper. Use it and get the pre-ordered healthy meals that you can go pick up, at least for dinner.
Right.
You know?
Doesn't have to be every meal all the time.
It doesn't have to be every meal all the time. But you know what? I mean, going to how do you say it? Mercati Fresh? I always have such a hard time saying it. Mercado Fresh. Mercado Fresh.
Yeah.
They have the pre-made dinners. You know what I mean? You can get steak and asparagus or chicken. Like those are better meals than McDonald's for 100%. Sure. That's good. Right? And she's like, oh, but I can clean my own house. I said, you can, or you can be efficient.
Correct.
Right?
But this is where most business owners struggle, though,
it
right? Is we're so used to like grinding and doing everything ourselves. And you can't just, because Jason and I talk about this lots. Dan Martell has a book. Oh, what's it called? Buying Back Your Time. And it basically is like for 2 weeks, every 15 minutes needs to be accounted for as to what you did in that 15 minutes. And then you can look back over the last 2 weeks and go, okay, which of these tasks are tasks that I probably shouldn't do for myself because they're not, again, worth my time. And I don't say that in a bad way.
Yeah.
I just mean my hourly rate that I can go make selling a house, helping a client, do whatever, makes me more money than doing this task.
That's right.
Right. And it's hard for us to go, okay, these 10 hours I can probably pay someone else to do, but you're like, but I should just do them.
I don't want to.
Because I don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
But you're like, but if I just paid someone to do them, clean my house, order food, whatever, I'd get 10 hours of my day back.
That's right.
And in those 10 hours, how many more people can you call?
That's
how many more follow-ups could you do? How many more houses could you sell?
That's right.
If you didn't do those things. But it's such a hard thing for us as business owners and self-employed people to make that transition to being like, I'm going to pay, because you can't pay someone and then not go do the business. You're going to lose money that way.
That's the biggest
thing. You
thing.
have to pay someone
and then go do it.
And then keep going to work, not just pay someone and then sit at home while that person cleans your house. Because then you're not doing anything with your time. You're spending money, but not making money with your time. You have to go and make more money with that time, right? So you can't just buy your time back and then not go do more stuff.
Yes. And I think that's like getting the right people and delegating is the sign of a real leader. Okay. I think that real leaders are able to delegate and work themselves out of a job. Right. So you need to find out, like you said, and so that is something I do, right? Like I do a business plan every year, and about every 3 months I sit down and I have a book, and it has hour by hour by hour by hour by hour. And it's a real pain in the butt to fill out, right? But it's like a time audit, right? Where am I spending my time? What am I doing? Am I spending too much time driving? That was a big thing for me. Driving, I've taken my driving way, way down.
Oh, I was going to say, did you buy a driver? Like,
Oh, I would love to have a driver. Do you know how much
driver
work?
like Ryan Serhant or something?
I would love to have a driver. I could sit in the back seat and like get so much work done,
know.
right?
Be great.
But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But I have thought about something like that. I really have it. But I did get an assistant this year, which is super exciting and was super scary at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, and everything worked out with that assistant because I was like looking into virtual assistants and I was looking into assistants and I was like, oh, it's gonna be too much money. Oh, like I'm just lazy and I don't need an assistant. And then these agents who have been doing it for like 30 years are like, I do all my own paperwork and I do all my own other stuff and I have a system and I just do it. And you weren't here when we had to go pick up our keys too. And I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like you're superhuman,
World's
right?
just different now.
The world's just different, but I know me
Right.
and I know that paperwork and that's the administrative side of life is not my gifting. Right. And so I'm looking into all this kind of stuff. And then a realtor that I know popped up and it said, I'm looking to hire an assistant. And I immediately picked up the phone and said, hey, I said, do you want to share an assistant? And he went, oh my gosh, RuthAnn, yes, I want to share an assistant because I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, but I have to. Right. And so we started the process together. So that the fact that worked out was really cool. Yeah. And we interviewed a bunch of people and the girl that we got, like, I'm telling you, she walked into the room and it was like, the lights were like, and she was like, hi, and super nice. Awesome. And yeah, so it's been really, really great so far. And I feel like, cause I talked to him and he's like, oh, I just keep saying to her, like, I hope you're not overwhelmed. And I hope we're not giving you too much. And I said, but I honestly think that she's like bored because she's administrative and we're not, right? For us, it's an overwhelming, daunting task. But for her, she's just like.
So she loves it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. There are certain people out there that love color tabs and know where everything's at and super organized and they can do it in a third of the time that it takes you to do the same task in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I think that you do have to do those things. And you have to in November, I always sit down and I look over my year. Right. And I look over, okay, what was my business plan last year, which I write out. What are my goals? How am I going to get to those goals? What money am I allotting to these goals? Where is my time going to go so that I can get to these goals? Right. And I look over that and I sit in November and I'm like, okay, this worked for me. This didn't work for me. Right. And anything that I'm going to do, I'm going to try for a year. And I pay up front because I'm like, you know what? I'm committing to a year. Right. Social media stuff, I'm committing to a year it's been more than a year now. Right. And Chris is amazing. I love him.
You don't have to say that on camera. It's fine.
He knows I love him. He knows I love him. He's helps me not be so stressed out. But that's and he makes me look good. Yeah. But I try it for a year.
Well, you have to. You have to put in the time.
You have to. Yeah. Yes. And I think that if you don't try something for a year, then, maybe 1 month you're not doing so great. You didn't
actually put in any effort.
Yeah. And you didn't put in any effort. Right. So I sit down and do that. And then I do the time audits as well. And you have to do that. And then again, you have to seek out and find the people that you can help to grow their business and they can help you to grow your business. Right. So that you can start delegating things because we can't do everything as business owners. Yeah. And we have to get out of our own heads and our own egos thinking only I can do this. Right. And just trust that this is the right person and give it to them, and every once in a while, someone might go sideways on you. Right. But that's also part of business. Yeah. And, I just think that you've got to delegate. Yeah.
So there's been a few changes, right? So you get in the industry, you switched from Deerbrook to a team. You went from a team to being independent.
Yeah.
Then you decided to hire an assistant. Like all of these things must have had some level of, I don't want to say fear. It's probably not the right word.
Oh, fear is the right word. It was
fear,
scary.
anxious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Fear, anxious.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Just being unsure of what you're doing. Is
Mhm.
this the right thing? Is this not the right thing? How did you sort of, I'll say, persevere through? Because it's more thoughts in our head than it is like reality being shown, right? For me, I'm always just like, it's just got to get done. Like it just is. Okay, short-term pain, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's really like there is no short-term pain. Like it's just they help a lot if decisions are being made like that. But how did you work yourself, either mentally or even just physically and emotionally, through those big changes?
So, first of all, I'm a very analytical person. So anything that I'm going to look at, it's going to be pretty detailed, right?
Okay.
I'm going to talk to a lot of people, and the people that I was talking to. So another person that has helped me out is my friend's dad, who knows business and has run businesses and started businesses and things like that. And I've been able to go to him and be like, "This is where I want to be. How do I do this?" Right? And he said to me a year and a half ago, "You need to get an assistant." And then he gave me some names of some people that he was like, "Call these people and talk to them about being your assistant." And I was like, "Great,
I'm not
thanks.
ready.
I'm not doing that." Right.
Yeah.
And then my sister-in-law, she said the same thing. "You need to hire an assistant," right? Like you just need to hire an assistant.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, great." And then I went to Christmas, and my sister-in-law's brother, who also runs a business, I was talking to him, and he said to me, "RuthAnn," he's like, "the biggest thing I see with people's businesses when they don't move forward is then they end up moving backwards and they're failing when it was just one simple thing, like getting an assistant." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
How many people have to tell me before I'm actually going to go do the thing everyone tells me?
Right. And then last year I had a fantastic year, and I couldn't have done it without my husband's support, my brokerage's support, my parents and my family's support, but also my mentee, right? Like I brought him on, and him and I worked so well together, and he was able to take on so many things for me, right? At times when I just couldn't do it, right? And I said to my husband at the beginning of the year, well, it was in November when I was redoing the business plan, and I said, "I need to hire an assistant." I said, "But I don't want to hire an assistant." Right? And my husband said, "Well, you have goals. Is paying the money for an assistant going to get you to those goals?" And I said, "I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Maybe.
don't know if it's going to."
Maybe.
Right? I mean, I have all the numbers. I need to make this much extra to be able to have an assistant, right? Which means I need to work this many more hours. And I said, "Well, I think that maybe I need to have another mentee or another realtor that I can work alongside with and stuff like that." Like I don't know. And then I just left it, and just before March started coming, and I was so unbelievably overwhelmed with thinking about the spring market in real estate, which is busy, that I was like, "No, I need to hire an assistant."
Yeah.
And that was when so my personality, I mean, I think I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses really well. And one of my biggest weaknesses is dealing with my personality, where I want to do it all. And I truly believe I can do it all. You know, it's like with age. We think, "Oh yeah, sure, I could still go water skiing even though I haven't done it since high school. My body will be fine." And then you do it and the next week you're dead.
Yeah.
Right? That's like a personality problem with me.
Yeah.
And getting an assistant was kind of the same thing. I was like, "No, I can't," and I started looking into it. And then as soon as I started looking into it, my friends had popped up. Like it was already there. I just needed to walk through that door.
Right.
Right?
They've been telling you for 18 months to go get an assistant.
Go get an assistant.
But at the same time, though, like it's one thing for someone farther down the path to say, "Go do this thing to be successful. Go get an assistant. Go advertise more. Go whatever.
Yeah.
Go find another mentee or go find two." And you're like, but I don't know if I can support two.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, if you want to grow, that's what you need to do. And
Yeah.
it still takes some time to really be like, okay, like uh, they're probably right. I'm not as far down the path, and it's hard to be like, they see it and I don't,
Yeah.
because they're down the path.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Jay and I have been talking about that for a while. Like between both of us, we probably need to share someone or get another person at the office or something. Like there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, those decisions are hard.
Yeah. Those decisions are very, very hard. And every time you have to make something like that in your business to be able to scale your business, or maybe not even like, I'm sure there's business owners out there and they're like, I don't really want to grow, but I need to be at home more. I need to have more relaxation, or I need to, I burn out every single year in whatever month. Right. And like doing these things is super scary, but at the end of the day, if you're going to burn out, you're not going to have a business.
Right.
And how many years can you do that before you have really major health issues, right? Because in a business where you are running your own company, right? And this is how you provide for your family. How many years is it going to be before you have a stomach ulcer?
Right.
Right? How many years is it going to be until you can't work the hours? And how badly have you hurt your business by not taking the proper steps, or getting the assistant, or getting the mentee, or getting the proper CRM, or getting a social media person? How have you hurt your business? How many clients have you lost? Right?
Yeah.
Now you're at this point where you have to do it.
Yeah.
And it is a mind thing, you know?
I mean, you don't have to be the person trying to take over the world. Like you don't have to be, I'm going to grow this into $1 billion business. Like not everybody's going to do that. And it's okay to not do that.
Yes.
If someone has a goal like that, great, go kill it. That's fine. But like you're saying, even if you just want to buy some of your time back, make the same amount of money, you're going to have to make slightly more money just to pay for that person.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to overwork yourself.
That's right.
Maybe it does mean that you're going to be at your kid's soccer game or your sports game or hockey or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be constantly 15 hours a day at the office all the time, doing it by yourself, etc. Getting an assistant doesn't have to mean you have to double the size of your business.
Right.
It means you have to go sell one or two more things or whatever to pay for that person, but you're going to buy your time back.
Yeah. And I like what you said about like, not everybody needs to want to be a billionaire. And I really truly believe that people need to hear more about that. Okay. Especially in the sales industry, whether it's real estate, insurance, pest control, whatever you want to call it. Right. Again, I think there's enough business for everybody to go around and nobody needs to be fighting it. But if your goal is to make $60,000 a year, and that's what works for you and your family, $60,000 a year, and you should be super proud of yourself when you make $60,000 a year. If your goal is to make $250,000, then like you go girl, you go guy, like whatever that is. And I think that it's really easy with, because people in sales have specific personalities, and a lot of us are very competitive, and we played sports growing up and all that kind of stuff, and we do like to win. But you have to check yourself and be like, what do I actually want? And stop looking at everybody else and how they're performing and what their numbers are, because they're not you and you're not them. And you don't have to ever be them, right? And it's okay. We need to hear a little bit more as salespeople. It's okay.
Let me ask you this question then, though. So, because I do agree with the vast majority of what you just said. Like, it's hard for someone to, who makes, $500,000 a year or $1 million a year to be like, everyone should want to make this money, because not everybody does.
That's right.
Some people want more time with their family or any of that kind of stuff. But at the same time, if you know what 200 grand can do for someone's life or 500 grand can do for someone's life, don't you think that as the senior person or as the mentor, it's our job to be like, listen, you hit your goal, you made 60K, that's great. Like, let's strive for more next year. And isn't it kind of our job to like coach people and teach them the possibilities of other things they could also do, or more experiences that they could provide. Because I'm all for being like, if you want to make 60, man, make 60.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that the difference between 60 and 100 is not a ton more work. It's just efficiency. But man, is your life different.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like, it's such a hard line to be like, I find it such, not a hard line. I find it's such a fine line to be like, go kill it and go, you know, do the thing that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you can do more.
Yeah. And I think that comes with when you're talking to people and people who want to be part of your business, right? Or you think, hey, this would be a good fit with my business, is you need to sit down with them and find out what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their motivations are, and if they're actually going to work well with you. Right. I talked to a young guy earlier this year, and I really felt that he had a lot of potential. And when I sat down with him, he only wanted to make 60. And I was like, what if you made 100? And he's like, I would rather have the time. And I said, okay. I said, are you are looking to purchase a home, and you are looking to, you know, because I asked what his goals are, things that he wants and stuff like that. And he said to me, well, I've never made over 40. And if I made an extra 20, I would be able to do those things.
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I was disappointed because I was like, oh man, you know, because I do feel that person could have been maybe even making 200 a year.
There's so many places that you can go and make $60,000.
That's right.
And you don't have to get rejected and feel the pain of sales and the letdowns, and you don't have to work 15-hour days.
That's right.
And like, it's hard. I think it's hard for people that aren't the type A sales type people,
right,
to be like, well, I want to make 60K in just a couple months. And it's like, okay, but like, you don't start that way.
No.
Like, you have to work your ass off for years sometimes.
Yeah.
Before you'll always make 60K by March, you know, like, and some people don't even get there by March. Like, not everybody's like that. And so it's like, it's great. Like, sales might be the thing for you, but it's not a 9 to 5, turn your phone off.
Right.
Like, go make 60K working on the line at Chrysler. You'll make more than that.
Yeah.
And you'll have all the time.
And you'll have every weekend off.
Right.
Yeah. So with that individual, I just thought to myself, you're not in line with my business and what we're trying to accomplish here. Yeah. Where my mentee that I have now, I mean, he was like, I want to make 500,000. And I was like, oh, easy, Tiger. You know, like, that's a great goal. No. And I didn't want to be like, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I mean, like, let's try and let's
hit a first marker first.
Yeah. Let's start this thing first. And I mean, if he would have, and he has big plans and big goals. And even if he would have been like, well, I'd like to make 60 because that's more than I'd ever made. But I mean, if I could make 100, that'd be great. I'd be like, oh, buddy, you're going to make a lot more than that.
Right.
Right. Just because of who he is. Right. So I think it's also aligning yourself with the right people. And again, it sucks when you think someone's going to be, this person will be great. And then you get into it and it's like, this is not a good match for us. Yeah. But when you find the people that are a good match, right, that's when you have to figure out what their strengths are, what they really want to do, and help them build themselves.
Right.
Right. Like, I think that we have, like you said, like, don't you think that we have kind of a responsibility to help them, you know, to make more or whatever? But yeah, I do. Especially if they're wanting to grow. I think we have a huge responsibility. Like, I feel like I have a huge responsibility to my mentee to make sure that he becomes the best that he can, and that he learns his policies and procedures, and that he makes the phone calls that he's supposed to make. And that if he doesn't, then like, that's my fault, you know?
Right.
Like,
I failed them for not giving them the skills or whatever, not teaching them enough, not coaching them enough, not giving them enough leads, not whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm full on board with that. Cause that's where Jay and I are at right now. Like, we have endless opportunities, and there's just like, it's hard for, like, we're like, if you guys just work the leads we give you, you guys will make, you know, 100, 150. Like, there's opportunity there. Like, just go work it.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. 9 to 5. And sometimes you're like, I just wish you would,
Yeah.
go 9 to 6,
Yeah.
start there, start small. And then you'll be like, oh, like a lot more people answer the phone after 5 o'clock because they're not working. Like, this is great. I can actually make more calls at this time or get a hold of more people and it's just like trying to coach them up to be like, just spend a little bit more time. Doesn't have to be 20 hours a day. You don't need to be like 6 to 10,
Yeah.
but just a half hour here or an hour there,
Yeah.
just a little bit more work. We are running out of time. We could talk. You and I could talk forever. We're gonna have to do this.
Very enjoyable conversation. I love it.
We're gonna have to do this again. But yeah, we're almost out of time. So we always end with one question, but before we do that, I'm curious to know, as someone who's done lots of different sales careers, door knocking, cold calls, now real estate, and then now with, I don't know, 3 different brokerages or just 2?
I've been with 3 different brokerages, but like Deerbrook and
Deerbrook
Remax.
and Remax.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if there were like, let's say 2 or 3 things that you could go back and change that you would think that would speed your business up, other than getting an assistant earlier, what do you think a couple things would be that you were like, I wish I had just done this a little bit earlier or done this like slightly differently because I know what it would have done and like how much it would have catapulted your business farther?
Yeah, the very first thing I would have done is I would have found out who the very top agent was. I would have been like, can we go out for coffee and talk to them? And I would have tried to get them to be my mentor. And if they said no, I would have gone to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one until I found somebody that would take me on and teach me.
Right.
That is the very first thing that I would have, like, my objective first day walking through the door of a brokerage would have been to find that person that could mentor me. Right. Yeah, that would have been number 1 for sure. Number 2, I think that I would have maybe made the switch from being on a team to going on alone sooner, right? But again, that's a very scary thing and you don't know what's going to happen and you're terrified, right? And I think that just choosing to take more risks in my business in general would have been something that I would have done a lot faster too.
Right.
Right.
Risks from the standpoint of not just going on your own, but like social media, assisting, just things that made things a little bit more uncomfortable, but just done it sooner?
I would have done it sooner, yeah. Okay. Yeah, every time that I think like, oh, it took me so long to do this. Yeah. I think because other realtors call me and they ask me questions and I'm like, do it now. Like my advice is always just do it now. You're going to be fine. Yeah. I know it's scary, but you'll figure it out. Yeah. Like it's going to be okay. But being that person and hearing that is like, yeah, but you don't know. Right. So I would have done things sooner, taken risks faster and move my business forward a lot quicker.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think, I always tell people go make more calls. And they're like, well, what if I have so many deals on the go? And I'm like, you'll figure out how to manage them all. Yeah. That's part of like learning time management. That's part of learning the 4 squares of what's urgent and important versus not urgent, but it's important. Yeah. And, not urgent, not important, not important, not urgent. You learn those things by just like going and doing.
You got to throw yourself to the wolves.
Got to throw yourself to the wolves sometimes, right? Like, because you're not going to die.
No.
You might drop a few balls here and there, but you're going to learn lessons. And as long as the balls you drop, aren't like massive, giant problems. Yeah. Not calling somebody back on the exact day you told them. It's not the end of the world for 99.9% of people. Right. No one's going to be like, you said you were going to call yesterday. Why didn't you? They're going to forget that you even told them that you were going to call them back. Yeah. Or if a financial plan's not ready this week and it's ready next week, it's okay. Yeah. Right. But going to just go and do more and you're going to learn more and not be so worried of like, well, what if I succeed so much that I can't manage it all? That's a good problem to have. Good problem. It's a great problem to have. I'll take that problem over not knowing who to call every day of the week.
Yes.
Right.
100%. And I think that you don't lose. Like you either win or you learn.
Yeah.
It either gets better or you learn something from it. You only lose when you choose to look down on it and say, that was stupid. I'm an idiot.
Right.
Why did I do that?
Right.
I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have tried.
It's such a cliche, but it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you quit or unless you drive yourself into the ground
Yeah.
and beat yourself up about it and give yourself zero grace
Yeah.
of being human,
Yeah.
you will learn something from it if you're willing to take a step back and go, okay, that didn't quite go the way I wanted it to go. I thought it would go better. How can we fix this?
Yeah. And I think that it's really important that when you do make a mistake, because we're human and you do make a mistake, that you only give yourself so much time to rethink about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always say to people, well, I time block my emotions, which sounds weird, but like if I'm upset about something or somebody's said something to me, I'm only going to allow myself, 5-10 minutes and okay, I'm going to go over it in my head and blah, blah, blah. And then every time it pops in, I'm like, no, I've dealt with you. We're done. Yeah. Right? Because if you don't do that, you can't move forward.
Yeah. I read a good saying a couple of years ago that was like, if it doesn't matter and if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes worrying about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can lose a client. It's like, okay, well, that sucks. Okay, I'll find another one.
Yeah.
And you can just like move on. You don't have to be like for days and days and days. I remember when I started, losing a client was like, oh my God, life is over. I don't know how I'm going to do this business. And sooner or later, you're like, they've chosen a different path. It's fine. I'll survive.
Yeah.
2 minutes later and you move on.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy in my office right now, like I know we probably spent all weekend, like it spent him 2 or 3, and I'm just like, dude, like it's okay. Yeah. It's fine. Just forget about it. It's okay. You're not everyone's cup of tea sometimes. It's fine.
Yeah. I have a rule of 3. For every one client that you've let go or has you've parted ways with them one way or another, there's 3 more that are showing up. It's the rule of 3.
That.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. That came to me when I was a kid. We had drummers and it was like we were always losing a drummer, right? And every time we'd lose a drummer, all of a sudden 3 more people would show up to the church and be like, oh, you're looking for a drummer? I'm a drummer.
Crazy. Interesting.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's the same thing. The rule of 3, it's the same thing with clients. If you lose one client, you're going to get 3 more. So it's okay. Lose the client. You're going to get 3 more.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back to the office and be like, who lately has like reached out? Has it been 3 people reach out? I'm curious to know. Interesting. Okay. Final question. We could talk forever, so we're gonna have to do this again. The final question we always ask everybody on the podcast is, what does success mean to Ruth?
Okay, so I think that success in the grand scheme of life is having so much joy that you're able to bless other people, right? So that you've created a life that you're so happy that you're able to go out and you can help people and you can help community, because I really truly believe that we should be reaching out and helping people in our own community and across the world, right? Like that is what I believe true success is, that you're able to do that. In the business world, I feel that true success is when you are able to create a separate entity or a machine that you've met the right people, you've worked with them, you've created a relationship, you've been able to delegate to those people, you've been able to teach those people and elevate their business, right? To the point where you've worked yourself out of a job and now you're mainly sitting back, looking at what you've made, maintaining it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Making sure that you're still there to give your input, you're still there to be a teacher, you're still there to educate your staff and things like that. But for the most part, you can step out and you're getting a residual income that you are happy with, and you are able to spend time with the people that you love, and you've bought in your time, right? And you've created something that's going to continue on for years and years and years to provide for you and also to provide for like your future generations as well. Yeah.
I can get behind both of those things. I mean, I don't think I could have said it better. I mean, I think there's definitely 2 boxes, like you said. There's the business world and then there's the outside world, but I love both of those things. So, is there anything else that you want to let anybody else who's listening or watching know about you, where they can find you? I don't know. Anything about yourself that you want to let anybody know?
Yeah. I'm RuthAnn Osborne, and I'm around. You can find me on social media. I'm with Remax Preferred, and I love to educate people so that they make the best choice for themselves and their families. For me, it's not about a transaction. It's not about getting a sale of a home. It's about educating people, because when you educate people, they have knowledge for life, right? And that is my business model. When you work with me, is to give you all the facts, go through everything with you so that you can make that best decision and be extremely, extremely happy with your purchase, because it's the biggest purchase you're ever going to make in your entire life. So that's what I love to do, is just help and educate people.
That's great. I mean, our companies are in like so much in alignment. I always tell people in the office, it's the saying from Wedding Crashers, when Rachel McAdams and Christopher Walken are like getting flowers for her wedding, right? And she's all upset, and Christopher Walken basically is like, listen, like, you can only make the best decision you have with the information that you have in front of you.
Yeah.
And so we as business people need to educate our clients first and let them know what all of their decisions are, what all of their choices are, what the pros are, what the cons are.
Yeah.
Because if we can provide that information to people, they're able to make a better solution and a better decision for themselves and their families.
Yes.
Because they have more information, not just be like, this is the thing that you should buy and this is why.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like, anytime you guys try to lay it on the table and answer the pros and the cons, and people will feel 10 times better about the decision they're making when they know that they've made it themselves because they've understood everything. So I love how aligned we are in that education piece.
Yeah, education is top priority and number one when you're buying a home. Yeah.
I would agree. My wife and I are trying to buy one right now, so it's just been crazy. So well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to chat with me. This was fantastic. Awesome. I'm sure we're going to do this again at some point. We could talk way more stuff, and we're probably going to talk way more stuff. Cause man, like there's so many similarities. It was great.
It was wonderful. This was so much fun, and I would love to do it again.
Good. I'm glad. Everybody, that's another episode of Cracking the Success Vault here with Spectre Group. As always, you can find us on your streaming platforms, whether it's podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, you name it, you know where to find us. Until next time.